Hey y'all, Charlie Agar with Charlie Bee Company here. We're going to check out a hive today that's very mellow. That's why I'm not wearing a veil. I like to show off by not wearing a veil because I need a lot of attention. Get a lot of bad comments about it, but really this hive is so mellow it's not going to be a problem. We also got our handy dandy smoker, electric smoker. Look at that. So we're going to give him a good bit of smoke. So we're going to check out this hive and talk a little bit about small hive beetle. Small hive beetle is what I would call a secondary pest. They find weak hives and they exploit the hives by taking from their stores. There's some right there. Little stinkers, right? A lot of people think, oh gosh, those are varroa mites. I got varroa mites. Remember, varroa mites are so small. If you're seeing varroa mites on your bees, that means they got a lot of varroa mites. But varroa mites, you got to do a test to see them. Small hive beetle, you're going to see them. You're going to see them crawling around. And it kind of freaks us out as newer beekeepers particularly. And the good news is it's not the small hive beetles that are the problem. The bad news is something else is, right? If a hive is weak, this hive is not very strong. If they don't have a lot of bees to protect their resources, then we can have invasive pests like the small hive beetle. Small hive beetle, they lay their eggs and they become larvae. The larvae crawl through and grow and get fat, and then they drop into the ground and they pupate. They become pupae, and then they emerge as adult beetles. Then they harass our bees. They take their resources. And again, they harass the weak hives, right? So the solution to small hive beetle is don't have weak hives. Well, welcome to beekeeping. If you're like me, you're going to have some lousy hives, and so they're going to be susceptible to small hive beetle. You want to keep your hives right sized so you don't have too much space, so the beetles have plenty of places to run. So if you've ever had a small hive beetle slime out, you'll know it. It's disgusting. The larvae crawl through your honey and resources. They introduce yeast, and that makes the honey ferment, makes a big slimy mess. It smells like rot. Horrible, horrible. It kind of adds insult to injury. You've already lost a hive, and then along comes small hive beetle. But it's not the small hive beetle that caused it, right? What we've got is a weaker hive that needs some attention, and it's probably something else causing it. Now I'm seeing plenty of resources in these bees. We're coming into our dearth season in Texas, kind of winding down a nectar flow. So if I see a little bit of brood like that, I know we're doing okay, and I'm not that worried about them. I know they just need to build. Worst case too, I'll use a small hive beetle trap. There's a disposable variety. This is the reusable variety. It's just a little well, and it has a lid, so you fill it with oil, and then it has a lid that closes, and the bees chase the beetles into this little slot, and the beetles run in, they drown, very satisfying, and then you have a bunch of dead hive beetles. I don't know how effective it is. It certainly feels good. Like if you've got a small hive beetle problem, it feels good to kill a few of them. So we'll do that today. I'm gonna just take this. I'm gonna put it close-ish to the brood, but kind of on the edge, on the resource part of the hive, the food part of the hive. I'm gonna put a little oil. Any old oil will do, and that's enough. And then we close it up, and so then the bees can chase them into that. And like I said, I'll come back in a few days and have that very satisfying feeling of having this nice and full of dead hive beetles. Will it solve my problem? Probably not. My problem is something other than hive beetle. It's probably this second box that is not being covered. So lots of place for beetles to run. Here in Texas, we typically don't have a lot of problems with small hive beetle. This year we did. We had a lot of rain. We love rain. But rain means the ground is moist. It's real easy for the small hive beetle to proliferate in the ground, and they got a lot of resources. So sometimes the hives are building up so fast, they're building too many stores that they can't cover. That's fertile ground for small hive beetle. So, but if you're seeing small hive beetle, know that they're not killing your hive, but it is an indication that something else is going on. So maybe it's mites, maybe it's the queen, Maybe it's time to do a test for varroa. Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe the hive is too big, so we need to resize it. But don't freak out. In general, don't freak out. It's not worth freaking out. Talk to your mentor or your local club or go to a bee shop and get some advice. But small hive beetle happens. Not a big deal.